Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today is a special day. I have my really good friend, Breanna. How you doing, Breanna?
Hey, I'm doing good.
It's been a while.
It really has. I'm very excited about this.
Me too. Breanna, I've been friends for like 2, 3 years now?
Coming on 3 years, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time. Um, so Breanna and I met through a Disney podcast, and then she loves horror movies like we do, and then she's been on a couple of streams with me, or a couple of recorded episodes as well. So that's always fun, and it's always fun to get to hang out with you. I haven't hung out with you in so long, it feels like.
I know. I'm excited because yeah, it's really been I feel like I've been so busy and moving and doing a bunch of stuff, and then yeah, we've got to chat here and there, but we really haven't got to do this in a while. And I'm excited
This
it's
is
on a
nice.
book this time, which is new.
Right, exactly. We haven't done a book one. We mostly do like movie reviews and stuff like that. Or like I think we did our famous like theme parks and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've covered quite a few different topics, so
Yeah.
it's time for
So it's
book.
always fun. It's always fun. So today we're doing My Roommate is a Vampire. I have the actual physical copy because I got it from the library. This book just came out in November. No, October, sorry, October. So that's why I have a hard copy. And this is by Jenna Levine. And so that's the book that we're talking about today. Let's see what's all in chat. Hey TJ, how you doing? He's saying first. Hey, Ghostface Fanatic, how you doing? Hey Melissa, how you doing? Hey Patrick, how you doing? So also if you guys wanna talk to Breanna, you can also go on her Instagram because she doesn't have a YouTube channel or anything like that. So you guys can reach out to her if you guys want to talk to her on there. Patrick saying my roommate is a cheetah. That's funny. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. I mostly do book reviews with Patrick. We did the Hunger Games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we did the Hunger Games a couple months back, and we had fun with it. We did the first book. So that was fun. So are you guys ready? And you guys can ask us questions about the book too. I have the whole copy of it right here. So if you guys want to look, I like the cover. I thought it was an interesting cover because it reminded me, like of the 70s or the 60s. Kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, I really wanted to do purple eyeshadow on one eye and pink on another for this, but I did not have the time. So we did not get that.
It happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. But yeah, that would have been cool. I didn't have time either. I didn't even put any makeup on today. I've been hanging out with family all day. So this book, the cover just reminds me of like the 70s or the 60s, like that kind of like type of thing. See if y'all can see it. And so this is interesting. So the what's my background? It looks like you're in a plant house. I'm in a closet. So I made my walk-in closet into Hey Hobbs. I made my walk-in closet into a podcast room. So it's a walk-in closet. So I made it into a podcast room. So this book. So this says true love is at stake in this charming debut romantic comedy. And so the book is about Cassie Greenberg loves being an artist, but it's a tough way to make a living on the brink of eviction. She's desperate when she finds a too good to be true apartment in a beautiful Chicago neighborhood. Cassie knows there has to be a catch. Only something with a secret to hide would rent out a room for that price. Of course, her roommate Frederick J. Fitzwilliam is far from normal. He sleeps all day and is out all night on business and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. And he also leaves Cassie heart melting notes around the apartment and cares about her art and asks about her day. And he doesn't look half bad shirtless on the rare occasions they both are home and awake. But when Cassie finds bags of blood in the refrigerator that definitely aren't there earlier, Frederick has to come clean, and Cassie's sexy new roommate is a vampire, and he has a proposition for her, and that's what it's about. So basically, it's a cute little book. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I listened to it. I listened to it on Libby, so I got it through a library app, and I was trying to find something to keep me awake on a night shift when I was working and listened to pretty much the whole thing in one and a half shifts. So it was a quick little, well, read, listen, whatever you want. Yeah, and it was just like a lighthearted, fun book.
And it's not too serious.
No,
It's like
not at
nothing
all.
like too
It does
serious
not
or
take itself
anything like that.
seriously at all. So,
So, what did you think of Cassie when she was first introduced in the book?
well, the very first part is like it goes right into her being like, yeah, I'll take this rent for like $200 or whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, she real smart. She like knows
Right?
she's like, I know something's going on, but you know what? I need some cheap rent. And I was like, you know what? We can all relate to that.
Right?
We all like some cheap rent. So
hmm Well, don't forget, Reginald, his vampire friend, wasn't supposed to put it for $200. It
yeah,
was supposed to be more, and he put
yeah.
it for $200
He
because
was
he's also a vampire as well,
yeah, he's like, oh yeah, that was a typo. We meant to add like an extra zero or something.
right? Because what day and age would somebody rent out a room for $200? Nobody,
Yeah, not in 2020. Well, this was right in 2023, so I'm guessing that's the time period it's supposed to be taken at. Sorry, I have
right?
my window open because it's
You're
hot.
good. You're good. Yeah, I think so too, and I'm just like, okay, that's interesting, but I was just like, okay, Hobbs is saying vampires, night shifts, trends, yeah.
It's pretty
Um, I read this book in like a day. It like took me a day to read it because it was like a fast read. Once you got through the like boring parts of it or whatever, it was like a fast read.
There are some parts that lag because
Mhm,
a lot of it's just them talking through letters to each other, which are funny because Frederick speaks in his little old like English ways and
mhm.
but it can get slow at times. But
He's like
overall,
300 years old and he talks like he's in the 1800s or
yeah.
something like that. And I thought that was kind of funny. He goes, "How does one acquire dishware?" And I was like, "What?" I thought that was
I
pretty
still love the part where he's talking to Reginald and he was like, "Women wear pants now?" Like,
right. I thought that was pretty funny too. Um, and I thought it was pretty funny how he was like wearing like these like suits from the 1800s, and she's like, "Oh, you need to go shopping for modern clothes." That was so funny. And so I guess they go to the where was it? They went to what was the name of the store? I forget. Was it Abby and Carbian or something?
oh,
Somewhere like
probably.
that.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't remember what it was. But I thought that was like interesting and she's like, "Oh, this looks good on you." You know. Hey Denisha, how you doing? Um and I thought that was pretty interesting that she was like yeah, you need to dress like this. What did you think of her best friend? What did you think of her best friend that and
Um,
her husband and his husband and everything?
oh, Cassie's best friend. Yeah, I thought he got a little annoying every once in a while. I was like, I don't know, he was a little naggy, but he did help her at the end and was supportive. So
hmm
overall, I think he was a good friend, but he was a little naggy at times.
Right. I like the part where she gets into the shower and it's like her first night there and they kind of like run into each other and she forgot all of her clothes. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was a pretty funny
Yeah,
part. And then there was like a couple other funny parts to the book as well. Um I thought it was a fun read, to be honest.
yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It kept me awake. Kept me going through my shift at work. Um, I love that we learn because he kept Frederick kept giving Cassie fruit throughout the book,
Yes.
and then
Hmm.
when we learn why he's giving her fruit, it's one of the best parts. And I was like, that's the part where you really just realize that this book has no seriousness to it whatsoever, but it's still great.
Right. And then I also like how they're watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yeah.
and he's telling her, "This is what happens when you have when you get vampire. Some of the stuff is real, some of the stuff isn't real." It was pretty. It was pretty interesting. Like they don't glow. They're not. This vampire does not glow like
Oh,
Twilight.
yes, gotta
But
talk
he's
into
like,
authority like anyone in Hollywood has seen a real vampire. So,
right. And then I like the part where he goes, "Well, some of it's true when they have the party and they have to go to her best friend's house, and he's like, make sure he invites me in because I can't go in if I'm not invited."
yes, they had to work up a little ruse so that Frederick could get into her friend's apartment.
Hmm. He's like, I have to be invited in, but that's with most vampires. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Most vampires nowadays, you have to be invited in. Um. So, what did you? Which main character did you like the best?
Um, I mean, I liked Cassie a lot. There's parts of her like even I liked her more through as we were learning about because she's an artist and then she's going through difficulty finding a job and like learning things that she likes. And honestly, there's just a lot of pieces where she's kind of finding herself as an artist and how Frederick kind of encourages her and how just gains so much confidence throughout the book.
Mhm.
So I really like that storyline with her.
Right, yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to Cassie because they're not like all there and they just need somebody to help them push a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
And so that was kind of nice, you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of pushed her and said, "No, you could do
mhm,
better,"
yeah.
you know.
Because he comes in and
And
he's like, why you got all this trash? And she's like, this is my art. Like I use trash. and
mhm,
and then he like, as he learns what it is, he becomes supportive. And then as she's looking for a job, he's like, you know what? Someone's gonna hire you. He's got that, that
right,
means like someone's gonna hire you and they're gonna be crazy if they don't. So he
right,
went from, being like, you got trash in here to being supportive, especially as he learns that it's important to her. So
right. And then I thought it was kind of cute that she actually lied to him about her jobs because she works at a library
yeah.
and she also works as like a barista at like a Starbucks type of
Mhm.
thing. And she technically lied to him and he finds
Really?
out. And then I thought it was interesting that like the first night she went to the cafe, Reginald was there. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. He just pops up randomly. He's this random I mean, he
Mhm.
does have a purpose in the book, but it's just so funny how randomly he pops up, Mr. Reginald.
Right. Yeah, I would have loved to like see his room because she was like, he doesn't have a coffin, he has an actual bed. And I was like, what? I thought that was like a cool like twist on it that Jenna did on like writing the book. I thought that was kind of neat, make it more modern instead of him living in a coffin.
Yeah.
But before that, also the reason why he talks so weird too is because Reginald put him like poisoned him basically, and so he was like for like a century he was like in a dead sleep, kind of like Snow White.
Yeah, so then that's the reason he wanted the roommate was so that he could learn what was going on in society now. So they'd rigged up this plan to get him a roommate so he could learn about the year 2023 and
Hmm.
get caught up on what's going on.
I just found it interesting because he would still talk like old British English,
He's like, I don't like to text. We can write notes to each other.
right?
She's like, who doesn't text?
Right. Um, and I thought the relationship was kind of cool. They kind of bounced off each other very, very well as well. because they kind of were like cute. I think they were cute for this book. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're a cute couple for this book because eventually they do end up falling in love with each other. But that was before that was like after she found the blood in the refrigerator because she does find blood in the refrigerator
Yeah.
and then starts freaking out and then goes to her best friend's house and her best friend's like, you shouldn't be with him or you shouldn't live with him. You can live with us, you know.
Yeah. I guess I did call her friend Naggy, but that's fair. That is a fair reaction to have.
Right. And then I thought it was kind of cool how like he's just like trying to fit in the world and he's still like trying to be like himself. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like he's trying to be himself and he's trying to fit in the world, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah, no,
Um,
he talks about what he's got a strict night shift, he's a businessman or something, and he only does
yeah.
business on nights.
Hmm.
I love, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, what business person does
I
business
know.
at night? But it
Like,
comes to find out that his
all
family's
these flags should be going off. All these red flags should be
you're
going
right.
up. And she's just
And
like,
then it comes
yeah,
to find out that his family is
$200 rent and a weird dude that keeps blood in his fridge and only works at night as a
mhm,
businessman.
right. But it comes to find out that his family does have money. His family does
Yeah.
come from money. It doesn't really say it in the book, but you can kind of tell in the book.
I mean, to be fair, if I had lived 300 years, I could probably have a decent savings too. So,
Right. And then his mom pops up and he's writing letters to his mom and then his mom pops up, which I found was interesting. His mom pops up.
oh,
I
yeah.
can only
When I
imagine what
love
she
that Cassie's like, how's his mom alive? Oh, yeah, maybe she's a vampire.
right?
We're using our brain here, girl.
Hmm. I'm wondering I'm wondering if what happened like if his whole family turned if his whole family like got turned or what. I would love that backstory.
Yeah, I don't remember. I listened to this book about a month ago. So I was like, I don't remember I don't remember them really saying
They don't
having a
he doesn't
backstory
really
to
have a
that.
backstory. He doesn't have a backstory.
Okay.
But I'm just saying they I think he should
Yeah.
have a backstory. Like a prequel, I guess.
A little prequel.
Yeah. Cause
Maybe I'll
I mean like
Marvel timeline.
she does have two other books. What's the other one called? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know.
She she does have two other books. I'll tell you 1 second. So she also has so it's or one other book. I don't know when this is coming out, but it's called My Vampire Plus One.
Oh, okay.
Is her other book.
I'm assuming it's
Um,
gonna be in like the same universe. Does it say that it's gonna have some of the same characters or anything?
no, it doesn't. It just says see if I can get this one. Okay, so this one says Amelia Collins is definition successful. She would even go as far to say successful single, but not according to her family. And she's tired of the consistent questions about her non-sexist dating life, when non-existent dating life. When an invitation yet to a family wedding arrives, she decides to get everyone off her back, and once and for all, finding anyone to pose as her date after a chance to encounter with Reginald. So Reginald's in this one.
Oh, okay.
Um, Amelia decides he's perfect for her purpose. He's a bit strange, but it's fine. It's discouraged though. Questions from her family, and it is certainly doesn't hurt that he's very handsome for a century-old vampire. Reggie posing as her plus one sounds like an ultimate fun, and it helps his ruse of pretending to be human so much better As Emma and Reggie practice their form mechs, it becomes clear that Reginald is as loyal as her day as long. And Amelia's first impression could not be more wrong. Suddenly being in a real relationship with Reginald sounds pretty fantastic. So that's her
It's like
newest book.
fantastic.
Huh?
Fangtastic, like a play on fangs. Love it.
Yeah. And then I thought it was interesting when they're in the shoe store the clothes store
Uh,
and he kisses her or they start kissing or something. She's like, I never felt your fangs before. And he's like, yeah, it's all magic. I thought that was funny. He's like, I only saw what you wanted to see.
yeah, and then we learn more about his magic later. We learn Reginald's got some fun powers. He gets to
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, some vampires fly, some vampires it's like they're magic. Some vampires fly, and then the other ones they don't really fly. They don't really fly. Um, excuse me. And and then Frederick's powers is he can make fruit, which is interesting. But it works.
It it made a nice gift for Cassie.
You're right. And then he was like, "Oh, since you came in, my magic's gone a little bit better, or something like that."
Yeah. He had like a whole closet full of fruit that he was hiding. And he kept
Yeah,
giving her baskets of it.
right. I thought that was cute though. You
It
know,
it's cute. It was just
like
like that was the point of the book where I was like, this book is never gonna be serious.
right. And then it does get a little bit spicy. Just to let y'all know, if you
Yeah.
do read the book, it
There's a
does get a
little
little bit
spice here and there.
yeah. So it's not a kid's book. This is not a young adult book. You can find it in the adult section
Yeah.
if you guys read it. So just to let you know, it does have a little bit of spice, but nothing like 50 Shades of Grey or anything like that
No,
kind
this
of
is
spice.
very mild, but it's still there if because the book has a nice bright fun color. It does look very young adult, but there's a
Mhm.
little extra in there.
Yeah, I found it at the library and I was like, this sounds interesting. I want to read it. I wish I would have found it like around October time, but it's still okay. Still nice summertime read, even
Yeah,
if
this one
you.
is a fun one. This
I
one
thought it
could
was
go
fun.
anytime.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and it's only how many pages is this? If you do want a fun read, it's only 337 pages. Um, hey Jerry, welcome in. Um, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you guys do like vampires, like it's not gonna go into like the folklore of vampires. Just to let you guys know, it's not gonna go into anything like that. But it does give a little bit of backstory about the characters. That's what I also liked about it as well. Because we all know Cassie's I think she's like 20 in her 20s, maybe like 21, 22, somewhere around there. And so she's just starting her life. And then I liked how the end was as well.
Yeah. The ending also made me realize that I couldn't take this seriously.
Right? Oh, when he got kidnapped by his own mom.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yeah, they're like she's like, "Oh, he disappeared. I wonder where he went on like the most important day of my life where I've got this really big interview and he's just gone."
And then Reginald popped in and she's like, what are you doing here?
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, he is gone. We don't know where he is. But I could like fly you to your interview if you want."
She's like, no, I'm going to take an Uber.
She's like, "Nah."
Because
She's
she
like, "I
doesn't
don't know if
trust him.
flying in the daylight is a good idea."
Right? But don't forget, they can make them be like humans. They can't see. They can't
Yeah.
see. They can't see them. But I thought that was interesting though, because I've never heard of vampires like flying like that. Like I know that they usually turned into a bat
Like
or something.
bats, yeah. But they just went full on flying. Well, only some vampires. Some vampires make fruit, and that one I definitely haven't heard of, so
Right. I thought that was kind of cute though to put it in there.
I just want to know
Hey,
where they got the
everybody.
idea. Where she got the idea of being like, let's just have him randomly produce fruit out of thin air when he's
Right.
nervous.
Mhm. No, it was a fun read. Like I said, it's more like a campy, like romance novel. Not really
Mhm.
campy, more like for spooky season if you don't want anything serious.
Yeah. It's a very
I think.
light
I
read.
mean,
It's
like
not
it gets
really
you.
horror, but it does have a little, yeah, spooky element because of vampires, but there's no horror or anything like that in it. So,
What I say is if you guys like want to go to the beach, it's a good beach read. Or if you just want like a glass of wine or like a beer and a book, it's one of those type of books.
yeah, it's a good way to put
You'll
it.
enjoy it no matter what. Um. So, what did you think of his mom when she was introduced? What did you
His
think?
mom is like the epitome of like the crazy boy moms that people talk about on the internet now that like love the ex-girlfriend more than like the current girlfriend and is
Yeah.
like freaked out that someone not
Uh,
good enough is going to date her son, and she's also
right.
god only knows how many hundreds of years old. Like,
Hmm.
so it may have said, but I don't remember if it did.
Right. And then also they said that the vampires have arranged marriages, and I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that was interesting.
it's like this
I was
this
like,
is normal for us. We just have arranged marriages to other vampires.
right. For a vampire. I guess because both families are like really old and stuff like that. Hey Kenny. And so I thought that was like interesting, like, oh, because they are like they were born in the 1800s
Yeah.
or 1900s, somewhere around there. And so she was like, yeah, we have arranged marriages. So it was very interesting to see Cassie come home from like work and find the mom there
Oh yeah.
and yelling.
She just like comes up the door and she's like, "There's yelling. There's a woman inside." I was
Yeah,
like,
she was getting jealous.
she was. Cassie gets jealous quite a few times over people that are not even worth it, which happens a
Right.
lot in romance books. So I'm not necessarily mad that it happened, but it was just
Right.
I feel like they could have gave her more reasons to be jealous, but they did.
Right, exactly. And then I like how Esmeralda's introduced, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be my wife." And I'm like, "Who's this person?"
Right. Yeah, it's like that is one thing I feel like at the end they just kind of introduced this whole new storyline of the arranged marriage and the arranged wife that's supposed to be coming up and the mom and the family and other vampires because like the whole first I don't know 3/4 of the book is literally just them writing notes back and forth to each other and her being like, why does he talk so weird, and then finding out he's a vampire and then them laughing
And does
together,
not
and
eat.
then all of a sudden we're like
Right,
we got like a, well for me because I listened to it on Audible, it was like, oh, I got 2 hours left of this like 8-9 hour book, and we're going a whole new storyline now. We got kidnapping and other vampires and vampire moms and the
right.
Ritz
I thought it
Carlton.
makes
I
the
love
book
how they threw out lots of like brand names. I don't know if she got any
right,
like kickback for these names being dropped in these books, or if she had to pay if
right.
it was the other way around. But
Well, on Goodreads, it actually gives the book on Goodreads. It gives the book a really good a lot of people actually on Goodreads. I don't know if you have that app or go on that
I do
app.
have good reads.
That's how I find a lot of books, if y'all want to
That's
know
yeah.
where I find the books that I like to read and stuff, or find out what the books are about or whatever. um on Goodreads, um they give this book 14% give it 5 stars, and 35% give it 4 stars, and 36% gives it 3 stars. So it's not a bad of a book,
No. I
really.
was like, I feel like I think I gave it a 3 or a 4 on Goodreads, and then on my other app where I can do half stars. I think I gave it a 3.5, and I feel like 3.5 is very much where I would call this book.
Right. But yeah, I think I put it at like 4 or 3, maybe 5. I don't even remember because I thought it was like a good like book that it wasn't too serious and just
Mhm.
something to read. Like if you want something, if you're bored or just something fun to get your hands on. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's more like a campy October book or even a summer read, really.
Yeah. I know. I think it came out in like September, October, so it came out in the fall, but I really find it like a nice, like right around this season, like a good early, like late spring, early summer book. Like it's just
Mhm.
light, and I don't feel like it's got a lot of something that needs to be fall. I mean, it's got a vampire, but vampires don't
Right.
necessarily have to be all time. So I think it's a good anytime book. But as I've
I think
said
so too.
good 4 times, yeah, it does not take itself seriously whatsoever. So do not expect that. And I
Right.
think you'll have a lot of fun with it.
If you guys like romance, dramas, dramedies, funny books, because it also has some humor in it. Because some parts I was laughing out loud. That's why I rated it more because some of
Mhm.
the things that Frederick was saying, I was like laughing so hard. And I'm sure you probably when you listened to it, did they have like a British accent for Frederick or did they have
Um,
like just like a normal one?
it I don't feel like it was necessarily British, but it had like that older accent to it. I don't know what to
Mm.
call it to be honest,
Was it
but
a boy and a girl
I'm pretty
or
sure
was
there
it
was
like
a guy that was reading his parts. I'm gonna see if it had two narrators.
because that would be interesting. Um, but he sounds more British to me than anything. But I don't know. That's just in my head.
Yeah.
Um, if they made this movie into a book, if they made this book into a movie, who would you want to be the actors in it?
Um, I really see Sydney Sweeney, probably because she's doing tons of movies right now as Cassie. And for Frederick, I don't know. Someone a little older, because I feel like I pictured him, even being a vampire, still kind of older than Cassie.
Maybe like a Tom Hiddleston or something.
Maybe not quite that old. Because I feel like Sydney Sweeney's like, what, mid 20s, early 20s, mid early
So
20s.
maybe like
So I'm
Josh
like thinking
Hutcherson,
like mid 30s at least, like 10 years ish older.
maybe like Josh Hutcherson or something.
Yeah, it could be like, I almost feel like Josh Hutcherson should be Reginald.
Right? He would be goofy like that, yeah.
Like the
Um
goofy guy that can actually fly at the end.
maybe Robert Pattinson because he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
He could be another vampire again.
She wouldn't do it.
He could redeem
I love
himself.
all the stuff where they talk about how Robert Pattinson hated being Edward.
Hmm. He could redeem himself.
Yeah.
Or get Taylor Lautner. He could play a vampire. He would play the werewolf. Get Taylor Lautner. There you go.
I'm thinking like
Or maybe Taylor Lautner could play her best friend.
thinking of who has like a good side part. Yeah, I could see Taylor Lautner as a friend. I don't. He's a little older now too, but it doesn't have to be
Or
that
it
sweet.
could be what what's his face? Um the new Spider-Man guy. He could play him.
Tom
Tom
Holland.
Holland. Yeah, Tom Holland. He's a little younger, so he could play
Yeah,
him.
it's gonna be a high budget movie with all these big name actors we're shoving in here.
Right. Well, maybe Tubi will make the movie.
Yeah,
But then again, maybe like because I know a lot of indie film people, so maybe one of them could pick up the movie. Who knows? You know,
yeah.
it would be a nice like little indie film. I think.
I think it could be. Yeah, a little fun romantic
Mhm.
comedy.
Right. So, what do you rate this book? If anybody wants to read it, what do you rate it?
I still think I would give it. I think I'm going to still stay with like a 3.5. It's 3.5 out of 5. I mostly the little parts were just I felt like it took a while for a real storyline to come through, and
Mhm.
there was just a lot of notes happening. And I I mean, I feel like the pacing was slightly off. Like I feel like you didn't find out about him and like his why he sounded so weird and why he was being so weird for so long. And it wasn't
Mhm.
necessarily a mystery because we all knew
Right.
he was a vampire because of the
Mhm.
title and the description. But like it still, I don't know. It didn't flow enough. Like I was like either need to keep it a full secret and make it almost a mystery or like get it out there a little sooner so the characters
Right.
know what's going on. But
Right.
overall, I had a lot of fun with the book. Like we said, it's a nice, easy read. It kept me awake on my night shift. Um, and it was like I feel like it was a really good book for that because it was something that I could easily sit down to go do my job
Right.
and then could
Mhm.
pick back up and be fine with. And but I don't think it was a bad book by any means. It
Yeah,
just
and I think if you are an avid reader, you would like the book as well,
yeah.
especially if you're more into like romance novels, romance dramedies, stuff like that. I think you would like it a lot better just because I know a lot of guys don't really like romance books, but this one I didn't think it was going to actually be like how spicy it was going to be, and I was like, oh wait, and then I found out on like TikTok, oh this book is spicy, and I was like, oh oops, because I don't normally read stuff like that that's
Yeah.
like spicy like that. So I give this book a 4 star just because I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was like what made it over the top was just it just made me laugh out loud, and it was just a fun book. And like I said, it's a summer book, or you could read it during Halloween time. Um, and this is what the book looks like right here. If you guys want to read it or check it out at the library, this book did come out in October, so it's still kind of newish. What they call is in the new section, and it's not a young adult book; it's a adult book. I found it in the adult section, so it's not like in the normal genre that I read because I usually read young adult books because I like those a little bit better.
Mhm.
But it was a good read. Anything else you want to say or anything?
I don't think so. I
All
think
right,
that was
guys.
it.
If you guys want to follow Breanna, she is on Instagram, so you guys can follow her. If you want to talk to her about horror movies, she loves horror movies. She's one of us, so if you
Yes.
guys want to talk to her, she also likes all different kinds of movies and books and stuff like that. I think we're gonna be doing like this kind of thing, like maybe like once a month. So if you guys want to come join us for like our little book read, or if you guys want to join us, let me know. And I hope everybody has a great evening. And I will be back on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. to interview Austin. He did a couple movies. He's also a music producer, and he just directed a movie, and he's also an actor. So come hang out for that interview.
That's
And
awesome.
I hope everybody has a great rest of your Sunday. Bye, everybody. Love you all.
Bye.